remaining. Dire team ban.
What's it with?
Well, we've got a draft
team
as well
ban.
on the way, so we'll get that one up on screen. Importantly, how are you doing today, though?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
We saw in the past week, at least for Division 1, every single series went to the full 3 games. They all went 2-1, some surprise upsets as well. Same sort of thing happening in Division 2 with the upsets, but a lot more 2-0s. I think the only series that went 2-1 was the one involving Summit Gaming, where they're able to beat TNC in that first series of the entire CDPC. So let's see if they're able to continue that momentum, and that'd be pretty exciting. Get open qualifier team. If they're able to start out the season 2-0, you'd have to be feeling pretty happy about that.
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They look pretty solid in that TNC series as well.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Decent. Game 2 went 40 minutes, so it was a bit of back and forth. All the game blurred together. That's the thing. But we do have our first phase done and dusted. It's going to be made in Philippines, of course, taking on Summit, 2 of the open qualifier teams. Nothing seems to be too crazy with first phase.
I mean, the crazy thing to me is, where's the Marcy? That's what I'm wanting to know. Not just because obviously we're fans of casting a new hero. It's just busted. Literally every
Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
into things. Pop the sidekick, you get that extra 65 damage. Suddenly you're not just a utility hero from that mid lane.
Nothing's going right, Denog. I've leaked some PMs as well, accidentally. No, nothing bad. I'm just not used to, see, I got production stuff on the back end. People, admin trying to tell me that some of the time was wrong, so I need to update that. So I was just getting back to him, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can't open my Discord. So it's okay, it's okay. It's just I'm not used to these things. We're so used to our natural, the way I pull your camera, that browsers is not working. Good old grid fam not working for us. So it's all up in the air for at the moment, but we will get used to it all. And made in Philippines.
They banned the Marcy. They banned it. Okay, that's a very smart decision, because like I was saying, Pango is just one of those heroes that incredibly busted together with the Marcy. Probably the other ones in terms of the sidekick would be ones that have a lot of right clicks. You know, the Ursa very heavily benefits from it. You also see the clinks just for the laning stage and the lifesteal that you're able to get. It's pretty nutty. So very nice that Made in the Philippines were able to get rid of that one. They pick up the Treant Protector because the tower push from a Grimstroke Pangolier pairing is pretty minimal, but Summit Gaming counter that with the TB.
So
10 seconds.
What are you expecting them to try and pick in as a response with this Terrorblade? Is there something that they require to make it an even better TB game?
Really, to be honest, like it's pretty good so far. You've already got the Grimstroke and the Pangolier if they try to PL, so you didn't need to ban out the Phantom Lancer, who's one of the bigger counters to the Terrorblade. Really, all you need is just more stuff that's going to hold people in place. Like I was saying before, the Pangolier is already kind of providing you that. So maybe just a direct counter to, or even just Vision. Vision might be nice, just to give the Pangolier a little bit of an easier time, make sure that the Grimstroke isn't getting jumped on. But I really like this Terrorblade pick for Summit Gaming. They're leading the draft in my eyes.
Radiant team pick.
Ooh.
There's Vision. There's that extra initiation.
Dire team
Clockwork,
battle.
that's a hero that I've been waiting to see if people are going to put as much priority on it as I think it is deserved, especially with the changes to the battery assault, dealing more damage to creeps. I think this was always one of the biggest issues with the Clockwork, is just your lack of farming in general, whether it be just, you know, split pushing the map, clearing out waves, but also just keeping up in farm and getting like a really value item to be able to help out.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you could just rocket flare to the other side of the map, you know, keep lanes pushed out without actually being there, which is a pretty decent tool. But yeah, the battery assault just so effective
Radiant
now for
team
being
back
able to
team.
farm. Just once you've even got it up to
Dire
level 2,
team back
you're very quickly
team
able
back.
to farm some of these neutral camps. And when you're in a lane, it's not as easy as the enemy team just walking into the creep wave to be able to soak up a lot of the damage. You're actually going to clear that creep wave out and maybe even get a few kills that you wouldn't have before. But good puck counter pick to that as well. You know, we were talking about they need that instant lockdown. Pangolier obviously isn't going to provide it. Clockwork does a little bit, but it's not the longest of lockdowns, at least until you're full levels on the hook shot, when you get the 2-second stun on that. So maybe this is a game where the Clockwork, because you're able to farm a bit more, are able to get that Aghanim Scepter a little bit earlier, so that you can actually look to provide that little bit of extra lockdown.
Do you feel like they have to go for, well, what are we're looking for a position to at the moment for Summit Gaming, so
Are we? Could be a mid Pango.
That's very true,
especially
actually.
in Park. I mean, I know the Made in Philippines are banning out these other heroes, but I would be picking an off lane now. On the puck, though, I mean, Leshrac is another one of those heroes that's got a lot of nice little changes to it in the most recent patch. The probably biggest one is the change to the Bloodstone to make it a little bit more viable, but also just the Lightning Storm. Now, instead of hitting 4, 6, 8, 10 targets, it hits 5, 7, 9, 11 for a little bit less damage early on, but that just means that when you're using that to be able to secure range creeps in, you know, the first couple of waves, it actually hits every single unit, so all the creeps plus the hero, so you're always going to be able to guarantee some extra harass onto the puck. So really just valuing the tower push potential, wanting a little bit of that extra stun, but it's going to require some cohesion between particularly the Clockwork and the Leshrac, making sure that he's in position to be able to follow up on the Clockwork's initiation, because it is still very heavily on, can you catch out this puck with the Clockwork?
even more makes the possibility of a PL not really there with this Lashback being picked up now. So Made in Philippines, you're going to look for a different carry answer. You do at least have ways to be able to take objectives with the Dragon Knight, so you don't have to be concerned about that with your position 1 pick. I would like someone that's able to have a decent amount of damage early on, because I feel like the Lesh, if he goes, I think Eternal Shroud has been buffed up. Bloodstone if he goes down that route as well, and I'm concerned maybe Made in Philippines might be lacking damage to blow up the Lesh.
Yeah, I'm just thinking what they can even go. Like the Lifestealer is still in the pool, but it's pretty terrible against the Terrorblade. The Juggernaut's been banned out, which would have been a decent answer with the magic damage you're able to dish. I guess that's a hero. Again, it's the same sort of issue with the puck, right? You're not able to instantly get onto the Morphling and look to burst him down 100-0. So there's that aspect, I guess. And you are a Skadi builder, so it's going to be nice again.
It's a pretty good Morphling game, though. They are going to, like, it's a solid lane Morphling Chain Protector. I think you always need to pair the Morphling with like a strong melee 5 that's able to soak up a lot of damage. Chain Protector well and truly fulfills that role. And the lane that he's going against, which is going to be the Pango Grimstroke, they don't really have the potential to blow him up. Maybe like a Swashbuckle from the tree line is really the only thing. Swash into maybe Stroke of Fate, but it's not like they can get a stun without him being ready for it. So he should always be able to get the attribute shift off. So I think this is going to be a pretty solid lane for Ken. And then as the game goes on, like being able to replicate into the Terrorblade's always nice. You can get your own meta, your own illusions. So I don't hate the Morphling, but it's going to be a bit slower paced here.
Yeah, and I think it's very important, like we always say, when you're going up against a tree and protector, you got to make sure you're getting out to that lane ASAP, clearing out those trees to the side of the lane, just to give yourself like a more teams that
I'm really freaking out.
be able to prevent you from.
Well, how are we feeling about this game one with the two open qualified teams? Do you feel like there is a lineup that you would favor out of the draft, or do you feel like it's relatively even?
I would prefer to be playing Summit Gaming's lineup just because I feel like they don't have a great answer to the Terrorblade. The Leshrac is going to provide you with that Diabolic Edict damage, so you're not really caring so much about the living armor. For the tower pushing potential, of course, Terrorblade as well just dishes out a crazy amount of damage. I think this is the first time the TB as well ever since the Metamorphosis change, or at least I've seen it in a competitive game. So you're going to be dealing out more damage in the laning phase as well. You mentioned before the Clockwork buff up. Yeah, I think Summit Gaming might have this one.
I also just like the fact I have a Leshrac. I think this hero is very, very strong right now, and I think he's going to be the top 5 of the position 2s that we're going to see in the meta. I think, like you said, you brought up the Lightning Storm and the buffs this hero in that regard, but I think really Eternal Shroud and Bloodstone is the one I'm looking at. I thought those were two pretty solid items overall prior, and Leshrac's like didn't hate going down that route. But now with the buff to Bloodstone, like I really think it's going to be a core item on this hero, and I'm still also concerned that they don't have burst to be able to deal with Mercury. So we'll see where the damage is going to come out for Made in Philippines, but I've been asking for the Lesh and I get it, so I feel like it's only fair that I give them the edge.
The battle begins.
We even get Trezam here. Obviously, TB is quite a low HP hero, so you're going to get relatively better return out of any kind of regen that you've got. And Clockwork, he's actually gone the Headdress, that level 1 build, so constantly going to be refreshing the TB as well as any kind of illusions HP in the laning stage, which is going to be good. You've also, with this Clockwork, got the potential to rotate through towards the mid lane to be able to secure at least the water runes, deny that away from the puck. Of course, TB, he's not bound to the lane. As long as you've got the Conjure Image, you can at least take a small camp in that time, or make sure that the wave is pushed all the way back underneath your own tower. And it's got a crazy kill rate. Top side, by the way. Now looking to make a bit of an attempt, but the Dragon Tail early used onto the clock, preventing the use of that battery assault. What are you thinking? Are you thinking Summit as well?
Yeah, I'm thinking Summit. I just, when I see the Leshrac, I think this hero is going to be pretty strong, and I'm just concerned how Made in Philippines can deal with the Leshrac. So I do think the draft is pretty even, though. Like, I wouldn't give it a big advantage to one side or the other, and that's kind of the position you like to be in, especially for game one. Give us an execution-based game, not one where it's kind of decided in the draft.
Yeah, of course. You know, we want a close game as always, but I feel like both lineups are good for different reasons. You know, it's a pretty good puck game, it's a pretty good Morphling game, but I just think it's a better Terrorblade game.
And I think the Morphling doesn't match up as well versus what he used to, especially with this E-Blade build, because the Terrorblade has a ridiculous amount of agi gain, so anyone with physical damage, that's really not the greatest way to bring this hero down. A lot of the time it's going to be off the back of magic, but the fact that Morphling, he can't go down this E-Blade route with like the dual shotgun, so I think that was a big reason why people would pick that hero into the Terrorblade.
A little crazy, but I wonder if this is a game where Puck wants to go into the, you know, which blade is always a pretty standard item for the Puck these days, but is this a Revenant's Brooch game? I mean, high agi heroes really suffer against the Revenant's Brooch late game, and then Puck, of course, has the Aghanim Shard that allows you to hit all enemies within attack range plus 200 every time he phase shifts. You're able to phase shift every 6.5 seconds, and you know, you can deal with the illusions fairly well with that damage as well. I wouldn't hate to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see how JG looks to itemize in a game like this. which is a pretty good puck game as well. Like, they do not have easiest way to execute a flurry of stuns here from Summit. So if JJ can get off to a good start, find those early items, then we could see the puck snowball.
Oh, absolutely. Like, again, like I was saying during the draft, it's really going to depend on the cohesion between Trezam as well as Mercury, right? Will Clockwork and Leshrac be able to find the synergy needed to be able to get that lockdown? Hook shot into Cogs, into Split Earth, then you can take him out, top side, TB. A little bit of danger here. Always going to happen whenever Trezam leaves the lane, but of course he's just constantly feeding him through the tangos. He's got the headdress as well, ticking up for the TB, so he's going to be just fine.
They got the second level in the Metamorphosis, and it is available for Unknown, so they would like to get aggressive with it, but the only issue is the kind of maintenance with the creep wave. They haven't done the greatest job on Summit, so it's not like they can look to get a kill with this second meta. So looks like Unknown's just gonna try and shove the lane out instead, but Trezam might be a bit too late for the pull.
Oh, I should be able to get it.
Very nice.
At least a half, yep.
So I was having a little bit more occupied though, so Mercury's gonna have to battle up against Lucify, and a bit too late with the Split Earth, so both the water runes will be going the way of Made in Philippines.
This is what happens with that equilibrium, right? I was mentioning that Clockwork is probably better served at being the one to make that rotation through, but when the lane's pushed up this far towards the DK and the Radiant Tower, he really isn't going to suffer. He's not going to die in the lane. Silence. Just the ones that are going to make another attempt here onto the DK, but Trezam, he's looking... I mean, now I suppose you can go the level 3 power cogs, although of course you want to go the double points battery assault. Level 4 is really going to be the time on this top side that someone are going to look to try and go for a kill.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
The harass a little bit. Lane, JG's going diving here.
Oh, Mercury. TZY also wrapping through the river. One's gonna connect, but with how weak Mercury is, he's very hesitant to follow up with ZZY's initiation. So
Radiant structures are fortified.
like Summit, at least you keep Mercury alive. That's the main thing.
AZ for a second there. As you want to run an encore?
I was gonna go crazy with the words there.
This is really good for Ken. Of course, Morphlings just really want those super early levels. Level 5 now, it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to go down. I haven't even been able to go for an aggressive attempt there, but the healing salve used onto him, brought it up in via the courier. 2 points waveform now won't be enough to be able to take him out. So this is what we're expecting, right? We're expecting a little bit more of a passive game, just farm trades, and all lanes are going pretty decently. I mean, the fact that Unknown on the Terrorblade, like I said, I think it's an incredibly good Terrorblade game. So the fact that he's top of the net worth right now, some should be feeling pretty happy about that. But then the next 3, they're on Radiant. So really is pretty even trade here.
So where are we expecting the action to break out? Is there a side that maybe is going to be looking towards their level 6 to where we could have our first bloods, or are we looking for the power runes? Maybe bottom is JG. Really? He's going to TP down and drop the coil. Pinkler's going to get a little bit of damage reduction thanks to the shield crash, but he doesn't have mana to swashbuckle away. But they'll all back up in a couple of seconds. Oh, they get the miss on the high ground. No, they still have the ward to scout out his location, so JG will jump after the orb. And he's able to secure our first blood. So there we go. There's the answer to who's going to find it and how they do it.
So picking out a double stack here, although in that time, Mercury was able to walk through towards the Radiant Triangle and take that stack away. See, trying to build up even further capabilities for them to farm, but see at least that the hard camp is blocked up, although he actually misses the stack on the Ancients as well. It's got a little bit too late there. Still though, nice little injection of gold for Mercury.
Peter's got the catapult and a decent chunk of this Elder Dragon form as well, so someone else from Dire is gonna need to come top.
Dire's top tower is under
Trying to chase down JG. Get the kill. Anymore back to top we go as Rapido with the help of Lucify. Be able to get the kill and then help secure the tower. Rapido's going to make sure he can keep the Cardi. He does a pretty good job to pull the wave though to the hard camp, so it's going to mean that Rapido will have to take some unnecessary tower hits if he wants to keep the catapult going, and yeah, that's not going to be the case.
Very tradey. Like, neither team is incredibly happy or sad with how things are. I'd say probably Summit slightly ahead, right? Leshrac being able to get a lot of that farm early on with being able to steal away those stacks. Are they going to get a kill on Mercury here? He wanted to commit for that invis room, but he might have gone a little bit too far.
So it's going to be dropped down. Lucifer rotating to mid as well. It's a lot of damage coming through for the Magic, and now Mercury's in trouble. Trying to toggle with the bottle. But the bonus shift charge is not going to be enough to keep him alive. Crush is going to swing in as well, but Rolling Thunder doesn't get the stun connection as JG is able to jaunt to the higher ground, but Crush is hunting. And finally, we've been trying to use the Cory as well to scout out JG's position.
Literal difference in seconds there. You know, maybe if the Leshrac fully on commit to that invis rune, I think he would have been able to pick it up prior to the Treant Protector being there. He had the Sentry Ward, but maybe that means that he doesn't hit quite as many of those right clicks onto him, doesn't go down. Very big kill for them to be able to pick up there on Made in Philippines, although see Unknown continuing to farm, hasn't really been contested too much at all, and he's going for this build that's going to allow him to fight early on as well, only having picked up that full Dragon Lance.
Yeah, and I think Unknown did a really cool move before. We highlighted a little bit, but with the Terrorblade Illusion dragging the creep wave, so they weren't able to get full value out of the catapult. This has meant that the Clockwork has been able to continue playing top, just soaking more experience. So he's going to have level 6 surely, just not going to have it off this range creep. Probably one more wave, well actually it's very close, what, 6 experience? So this is really important. It's just you slow down Rapido from taking this early tower and just give Trezam a location where he can get a little bit of me time.
A tithe to the impurity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder, I mean, you're not going to be able to not reveal the fact that you're level 6, so you're not going to have that unknown counter initiation coming through for the Puck, but it just means that the Puck needs to be a little bit more conscious of the fact that, okay, I can't really just look to dive in super deep because, of course, I can die now that the Clockwork has gotten up to this stage. I think they might have smoked just a little bit too early there. The residual vision from the creep wave probably saw that that movement was happening, so just having a look at where Made in Philippines are looking to play around now that the trio is roaming towards mid. Again, it's all about the synergy between Trezam and Mercury.
There we go. This side, Inkspot will follow up as well. They'll have plenty of damage to get rid of the Treant Protector. But he the first to kill it off.
And the Edict and the Siege Creep. This tower should be falling down here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Going to require the illusions to tank up the tower right clicks, but of course it's a Terrorblade. Got a good amount of armor, and Group from Unknown is decent as well, but nicely done by Luzify to be able to clear that one out. So that's a tower protected that probably should have been going down. And in the meantime, Rapido able to take the top one.
Yeah, and they know meta's on cooldown now as well, so they might look to get aggressive and actually do a little bit of their own damage in the T1 tower mid, especially with the double damage rune on JG.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Got 2 points in the Stroke of Fate, I suppose. So CZY able to do a decent job of clearing out the wave. Of course, it means that your lockdown isn't going to be as good, but they should still be the ones to claim the second tower of the game. Has Hook available again if he was wanting to use it. I think this might be a pipe game for Trezam to look to go for. Against a lot of magic damage, just to be able to provide that little bit of extra protection for the TB illusions is going to go a long way towards your damage.
They're going to try and go on Ken. Let's see, Hook shot in, Inkspot with the fork. They're going to need all the chain control they can get. And with Crusher's Rolling Thunder, that is a perfect way to execute the kill, blowing up Ken, who was free farm. That's the first death on the Morphling.
Mercury's having to play very careful now, though. They are looking to scout him out with the stolen rocket flare through from the Rubik, and they'll be able to catch him out. Dream Coil used,
so
and that's going to be Mercury dying.
It's such a deep attempt that no TPs are coming out. Made in Philippines, they will not be punished for diving under the T2 tower.
I mean, even if they TP'd, what could they have done, right? They used the Hook Shot and the Rolling Thunder to be able to kill the Morphlings, so they didn't really have that turnaround potential.
The bottom lane, Crush. Could be their next target. Teehee with the threat of the Overgrowth. Lucifer stole the Diabolic Edict as well, so this will be plenty of damage to get rid of the Pangleer if they're able to catch up to him.
Dire's
nice, right? Pop the Diabolic Edict, steal the Rolling Thunder, chase him around with the explosions.
Trezam. step. But
Got a big
reactions from the telekinesis. Shazam will not continue the chase. They are stuck now in between the tier 1 and tier 2. Just gonna try and get some distance, but the overgrowth still held in the arsenal, so Tree Protector can use it to lock in the Pangolier. So able to make it back to the higher ground. Crush has got an opportunity to pop the Rolling Thunder. It's going to go down to the west, but meanwhile CZY on the Grimstroke should be killed off easily as Rapido is going to tick him down to the poison. They get out of the Pangolier.
I was nearly able to get the kill there with the swashbuckler. Luckily just missed, but still able to get a kill. And again, you're not going to have this Rolling Thunder for the next minute or so. So they're going to be feeling very confident in being able to put some pressure on the map to farm a bit more aggressively, because all you really need to be worried about now is your Clockwork. So as long as you've got information about the position of him as well as the Lashrak, you know that the damage output isn't there. He's going to make use of that headdress on the clock, but not got on the pipe like I was expecting, just into the mechanism instead.
Now, between the two carries at the moment, they are both getting as much farm as they would ever want in a game like this. Unknown still flawless, hasn't had that first death. Hold that thought as Trezam. Gonna try another attempt with the... Oh no, the smoke just popping, and now JG, he senses an opportunity. His Rapido's gonna stand nearby as well to reveal the Blink Dagger. They'll get rid of the Clockwork. Now considering about turning to the Pangolier as well, but they've already blown all their stuns on the initial jump, so Trezam will be the only person killed off.
Flesh got now. Is that a Yule Scepter coming out to him? Okay, so that's a little bit more survivability for himself. Of course, just having the Void Stone as well, or the ability to stay out on the map. I think that was a little optimistic coming through from Summit. You know, they obviously had the Pangolier paired together with the Clockwork as well, but it really feels to me like unless the Leshrak is there, you're just not going to have the damage needed to be able to secure these kills.
Look at Radiant with their wards. Very, very aggressive ward placement. One that just scouted out Trezam, TPing back to the T2 tower mid. They've got another one by the cliff location in the top jungle, by the outpost. So this is going to really enable them to play aggressive, which they want to do. You got Witchblade on Puck, you got the Blink on Rapido, so you want to be the ones that are infiltrating the jungle of Summit.
Yeah, and Clockwork doesn't have a TP, so they're just going to push up onto this top side at the very least, get a glyph out of the Summit Gaming lineup. This is a tier 2 that's being hit by a Dragon Knight. It's something that you can't just ignore. Of course, we were saying before, Ken having a pretty good amount of farm in the early game, so even him is able to get a good amount of damage into that tower, but it is still Summit just able to secure that tower for free. Now, with Mercury, he can just look to stand in the trees with a Diabolic Edict, look to take that one down. We'll have the glyph at least to be able to delay this one a little bit if they were wanting to on Mated Philippines, but it's like they're just going to give up another tower. Oof.
14. Oh, no way.
Dire's top tower.
Oh, they're gonna let him do that. Nope. Okay. Oh, not in. Cogs push back into the splitter.
And now.
There's that synergy.
Oh, that is beautiful, Trezam. Great initiation.
Not giving the young.
Even got an Invis on the bottom side if they were wanting it for Mercury. Oh, actually, that involvement gets Crush up to his Blink Dagger now as well, so that's a big deal. Now you're not just locked into requiring that hookshot to be able to get a lot of these kills. You could look to try and split up those cooldown usages. Alright. Hanging around a little bit here on the top side. I was thinking maybe he had to put that Tinker Ward there just to be able to scout out any movements towards the lane by the Summit Gaming lineup.
They will be. They're going to be aware of Crush having his Blink. The Pango's running underneath that observe board, so there's going to be no Blink to catch them off guard here. And Maiden Philippines, T is pretty goddamn farmed on this Dream Protector as well. He's going to have Blink after this next creep wave, so that's going to be an exceptional way to hold the Leshrak in place while he's trying to charge into the middle. But more importantly, it's a really great way to deal with the Pango Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still... I wish Trezam went the pipe. I know it's not an amazing item, but again, it's just going to allow the TB to stand and fight. And I feel like the mech might be a little bit too reactionary, and you're not always going to be in a position to be able to get it off to its full effectiveness to the illusions. Mercury on his own on the top side here for now. By Pulse Nova. You have the mana pool, unfortunately, to be able to take advantage of that.
Top tower is under attack.
still probably going to be securing this tier 2 tower. I mean, you can see the movements coming through from Summit to hopefully make that not happen, but I think just resign themselves to the fact that they've lost it.
Are you surprised that they feel like they can't take a fight, especially with meta available? You just got your blink on your paint.
Yes, yeah, a little bit. I mean, the Leshrac can buy the Boots of Travel now if he absolutely wants to. I feel like Summit can take a lot of these team fights pretty well. I mean, they're not super lacking in team fight. I mean, sure, you're going up against a Tree Protector now with the Blink Dagger and the Overgrowth and a Puck. Of course, very substantial damage output as well. But, I mean, you've got a Pangolier with the Blink. You've got a Leshrac that's pretty farmed. And like you were saying before, the meta is just so potent. So maybe just the one ultimate orb for all those stats to make your illusions a bit beefier.
See what the call is going to be for Unknown. I'll make his way over to Secret Shop, and there you go. That's one of the ultimate orbs, and is it go time now for Summit? We're 18 minutes in, only 10 kills. It's been a very slow-paced game one to start off. Best of 3.
900 gold away from the Eternal Shroud, so maybe that's what they're waiting for. Just giving that huge buff up, and they're trying to get a free kill or two in the meantime, but it's going to reveal their positioning. So it's just back to farming for Summit. Their vision isn't amazing right now. Actually, they've got a pretty good ward inside the triangles, so they're going to be able to scout out the movements of both the Rubik and the Morphling for now. There's no real threat for TV.
Runs a crush. Pangolier is going to be caught out. No one else is really nearby. Shazam's going to try and give him some bonus health back with the mechanism, but that will do nothing as Made in Philippines. Sets up play from them. They knew the hook was on cooldown. They knew Summit were trying to back off. They didn't want to take the fight, so it was an instant smoke for the lads on Radiant.
He also had vision on the Leshrac as well, due to this Observer Ward placed down previously by Teehee. It's actually stopped a couple of ganks now, both onto him as well as the potential for that counter initiation coming through. So this Aegis certainly gives Morphling a lot more peace of mind to play just that little bit more aggressively.
Ooh, lose a fire? They see Trezam as well. Oh, he's on quite the expedition is the clockwork. It's going to be given over a free kill over to Made in Philippines.
At least you get away on the other heroes that are in the region, but I feel like that was really just about looking to take attention away from where Leshrac was trying to push in the bottom side. All the while, they obviously don't have the glyph to bring people down towards the bottom area. They were able to take the tower down to half HP. I don't know, like I feel like there's a stage where you need to all-in commit onto something, right? And maybe it's after this creep wave. I know you're up against the Aegis again, but you're going to have the Eternal Shroud available.
It just seems like they're very comfortable with this Terrorblade getting a bunch of farm. I mean, you were under the assumption as hold that thought crush. Be forced to Rolling Thunder and TP out. So that's your... It feels like they're using ultimates and these small abilities where they're getting nothing out of it, and then it's continuing to slow this game. We haven't seen them use everything in conjunction.
I suppose, but it also counts on Made in Philippines to take advantage of the fact that these ultimates are on cooldown, right? Previously, sure, they saw that the hookshot wasn't available, they got the kill on the Pango, and they converted that into Roche, but it hasn't really stopped Terrorblade from farming, right? He's still top of the net worth, he's still 500 gold away from that Skadi, which is going to have great impact against all three cores on Made in Philippines' side. So it's going to be another death coming through from one of the supports, but again, as long as the TB's farming, you're generally okay with it. Unknown's positioning has been pretty solid so far, looking to constantly stay 5 seconds ahead of all of the Made in Philippines.
Try and smoke from Radiant, see if they can catch out. They might run into Trezam or Mercury. Not easy though. Lose Eternal Shroud. They're not going to get the Shroud off just yet. They're going to try and blow him up before the items are utilized, and okay, he won't even have a possibility to pop any of them as Ken waveforms in, gets rid of the Leshrac's life.
Trying to, put some pressure onto the other lanes, quickly shove them in. The Pangolier. Mid lane though, that's the one that you're concerned about.
They're still going to make an attempt on JG. They know the phase shift was used. And Musafai also stole the Rolling Thunder as well, so let's see how they're going to try and take this engagement. There we go, charge it up. Musafai going to try and bounce back over towards the Pingo. He's not as comfortable with the Rolling Thunder, it looks like, in a close proximity like that. But it looks like with the help of JG's Coil, Crutch is still really making him work for it. Is he going to go back in and steal it? Oh, JG just gets the kill with the Rocket Flare. Drazam, he's got 3 points in the flare, so that's enough damage to even out the trade. Of course, it'll come at a cost at your own life, but you are more than happy with that.
Dropping the cogs before trying to escape, but yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, of course, being able to secure that kill. I'm a little surprised that the Pango didn't live, as
tower is under attack.
mentioning, such an effective tool, but requires you to be so down as well, just through the constant push coming through from these TB illusions with the... So it forces the TP rotation. So let's group smoke attempt.
Okay.
Exactly what Summit do. Lead with Mercury. Hopefully he lucks out with the rune. Oh, I mean, what better one could you get at this stage than the Arcane rune for a Leshrac? All cooldowns available for him.
They part their way now for Summit. Towards the bottom outpost of the call. Kenny's farming.
For the
35 seconds on the Aegis. What's the play for Summit? You wait this one out.
They can again catch the puck. That's the big deal. Or could just
Might get the bounce back. Very close. And Merc, wait, look at the damage that Merc. Curious.
Well, they might commit with it there with a hook shot puck, but going to be able to land it. And they have been able to heal up this bottom tower just that little bit further. The Tree of Protector is obviously going to have a lot of value here. You've got all of your items you needed. You knew that the Elder Dragon form wasn't available at the time. You knew that the DK didn't have the... Still aren't able to get something out of that. A little bit of missed opportunity there for Summit.
Yeah, they get a pretty good board on the high ground. I thought Crush was going to continue venturing into Radiant's territory, but he's going to back off, making sure he does not get caught out. So the Aegis advantage, they get 2 tier 2 towers. The lads have made in Philippines. Been able to grow this net worth lead up to 2,000. But again, you've got BKBs to fight with. Repeater just completed his. Ken has a BKB to both of the charges at 9 seconds. So surprised if we see Radiant try and take a fight. But the question is where can they really go to get this engagement?
I mean, the big thing for mine is just the order that they've gotten with their items. I actually really like the fact that Ken's got the BKB before picking up the Skadi for himself, because it's going to mean you can man-fight against the Leshrac. You can man-fight against the Pangolier. More importantly, you know, just stand there and use the good amount of farm that you've been able to pick up to just not care about almost all of the Leshrac's damage and the Pangolier's influence as well with that team fight.
Radiant are scanning.
She made him flip into it. They were ready. Any opportunity to get a kill inside that river. Just waiting for the power rune to spawn, but it was a nice scan from the Leshrac. Who was aware of that attempt from the lads on Radiant. So this one's going to continue to stall out a little bit. And we're really getting to stage where both the carries, I mean, they're flip-flopping back and forth between the first and second place in the net worth. And you were under the assumption that you're happy with the Terrorblade scaling than the Morphling in this matchup. Do you feel like anything through this game has maybe changed your mind, or do you still feel like that is the case?
I mean, they need to take successful team fights. That's the big thing for mine for Summit. I feel like they've missed a couple of opportunities to do so. I mean, now the fact that you've disassembled the Dragonlance to pick up the BKB, they want to fight now because they can see that the TB has fallen a little bit behind the Morphling. He's been able to get that level 20, so he's got the waveform attacking target. That BKB pop to be able to contest the Lesh and the Pango, like I was saying before. He now has a way to be able to not care so much about the TB just wailing into his face.
Tiki. JG's nearby will die. They've got more numbers to be able to take it. Gonna be cautious if they get leashed together in the park, and they're gonna do just that. JG now crushed with the fall. They get the first stun, the second stun's gonna fly in afterwards. Do they have the damage to be able to blow him up though? JG All the green down. Unknown steps in, gets the double kill with the Terrorblade, and he didn't even need the Metamorphosis.
Yeah, I believe, is that the completed Dragonlance coming back out to him again? Yes, it is. So he's just going to be able to siege down this bottom tower. They'll use the glyph to try and delay it a little bit further, but that range creep survives, so no backdoor protection for the next little bit, and you're going to be feeling very confident without the Dream Coil to worry about just to take this next fight here. The big team fight win that they needed.
Without a doubt.
Team fight.
Just they don't have JG just yet, but Ken's even going to think about showing up to the engagement. Are they feel content with taking this fight? They won't have Trezam. They might be able to turn it back on the Morphling though. Stunned up for the moment. It's going to be Camper, pops the BKB. It's going to swashbuckle down to the low ground, so Made in Philippines, they want to get out. They don't feel comfortable with fighting into the Metamorphosis on Unknown. Lane, JG. Just running into CZY, nothing crazy, just a Grimstroke kill, but you'll take what you can get, especially with this slower paced game. Getting any extra gold and experience off the kills is definitely going to be handy as the game continues to progress to the mid stage.
I'm liking the Kyron Sanj build from JG that he's gone for as well. Like I was mentioning before, you do need to be able to layer those stuns on top of each other. So something like the Lincoln Spear isn't going to be too effective. You don't want to buy a BKB on a puck, so yeah, Kyron Sanj feels pretty damn good to me.
How's he going level-wise as well? I think that's an important thing. A lot of people have... they're going decent at the moment. Counterpart as Mercury's Leshrac is up to 20 though, so Mercury's gone for the bonus Pulse Nova damage, and is also going for the Sanj and Kaya, and has the Bloodstone queued up afterwards.
Yeah, I think you need to go this route. Like, you have people that can frontline with you, right? So you don't necessarily need the strength. You're not that sole focus on the front lines in a lot of these team fights. You need that bonus damage. You need to be able to kill the puck if you do get that initial burst through. And of course, the extra Pulse Nova damage, it's going to be nice against the likes of a Morphling and a DK as well. Speaking of them though, they're going for this Roshan.
Oh, it's a DD. No way.
Yeah, but they know. They know.
Dark Crush can jump. In the middle, is able to get the insult up, but look at the damage. Oh my lord, the Morphling just rips apart Crush. Now you still gotta respect the damage from Unknown. He doesn't have the meta. They don't have the meta for this engagement, so Repeater's gonna jump straight on top of the Terrorblade. He can't get the Sunder off. There's no opportunity. Now they're onto Mercury as well. As Ken, what a lucky route to find the DD at the mouth of the pit, and they bring all 5 down.
All 5 down, and a big part of that was on the back of Loser 5. What a steal. He gets the Split Earth. Of course, he's playing a Rubik, so he doesn't have that that wind-up cast time, and made him able to instantly get off the double stun. Of course, it also has the spell amplification as well, so it's just so much damage that they were able to layer out. What a big team fight coming through from Made in Philippines.
Dire's structures are fortified.
That's really broken this game wide open here for Made in Philippines. Up the high, and they go. No tier 2 tower top as well, so I don't know if they're going to stick around for it. Maybe they could get 2 melee barracks. Crush. Cautious, my guy. Ken's even going to go in. T4 towers, who cares? Six more stuns going to be there. The Cog's going to protect him so they can't get the Rolling Thunder, and we're going to be able to... There's Ken. For the farm, the Morphling's been able to pick up, really showing how much damage this hero can be pumping out.
At least he's able to, like, you give up, yeah, sure, but it means that they aren't able to convert that top tower into anything further. It's only going to be 1 lane of racks that you're behind, but I was really expecting more out of Summit for a lot of their movements so far. And yeah, I mean, obviously 4 staffs are a good build this game. Rubik's got one, but he doesn't even need it necessarily, right? He's got the 4 staff. But the big thing for me is the Aghanim Shard with the telekinesis that he's been able to just lift people out of the cogs constantly. And the Split Earth, of course, you've got the Aghanim Shard. He's going to have that buffed up version of the Split Earth for himself as well.
Look at this, Repeater is even itemized into a halberd. the Dragonite, so really going to be slowing down how much damage that the Terrorblade will be dishing out. He's working on the Daedalus as his next item, but if he's disarmed, then you can go with damage item, but you're not right-clicking won't help out.
It does feel like it's at the stage with Made in Philippines. They're like, okay, we've got this Aegis for the next 3 minutes. We don't need to split at all. We've got all of the items that we need to be able to take these team fights consistently. They might want the Wraith Pact, but they don't need it right now. And as long as they're grouping together, you're not going to get another solo kill pick-off. Maybe they will actually with Razan, able to find the treant.
They're ready to fire though. Rapido jumps inside the cloaks to ping. Galea, that's a big target. They can blow him up. Oh my god, Ken is just demolishing them with this Morphling. Now Mercury, he's in trouble as well. JG continuing the hunt. Rapido, he's gonna blink up in a couple of seconds, so he'll be able to find the Dragon Tail if it's required, and it won't even be. Oh my, Made in Philippines, just back-to-back fights, and this game seems like it's all theirs.
I think Lucifer just solo killed the Grimstroke as I think it was a split earth into a firebolt into a stolen stroke of fate. So just really nicely done by him as well. Dealt 1200 damage solo against this Grim.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
A full set of barracks.
Lane.
Even Puck is TP down bottom. It's like, yeah, well, we got some more objectives that need to be claimed. Let's start to get to work on the tier 1 and tier 2.
Level 25 on the Morphling. How many waveform charges does he have for you? He's got 12 extra for me now that he's hit level 25.
Yeah, he's got 12 as well for me.
Excellent. Does he also have a Pango face on the portrait?
No.
Yes, a Pango face for me. So scuffed. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this.
Still chilling as a shark. And Morphling is a fun, interesting hero. Can't wait till they make him broken again. Good old Morph Earthshaker days.
I guess. I mean, he's mobbing all over them right now.
Dude, what? There's an Octarine on the roof. What's going on? He's almost as farmed as the Pango. Now bottom lane. So at the Aegis, Supply considering about the telekinesis to keep him alive. They're just gonna jump to left track instead. Oh my, doesn't get the Eternal Shroud off at all. Not that it would have came in handy. The Morphling though still taking a lot of damage for the moment. They're gonna disarm Unknown. Let's see how they can set themselves up for round 2 though in Made in Philippines. They still have the Park and Repeater nearby. A coil on the tree line, leashing them inside this engagement. They're gonna be no way they can escape the onslaught as it's all up to Unknown, the sole survivor, but a BKB soon to expire, and they can chase him down afterwards. JJ's gonna be a bit cautious, gets the tool on top of the last second, put a waveform in aggressively. He knows no way to stop. The tracks keep on going for the Morphling. Unknown finds the Sunder. They've still got the meta needs to stand his ground. There's going to be no escape. You just got a man fight. And in the end, it will not matter. The G's are dropped and Made in Philippines. What a game 1 performance.
Yeah, really nicely done. Big standout mentions to Ken as well as Losify. Losify 7, 1, and 16 at the end of that on his... It for them, but for
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, that would have been kill. Everyone on the precipice of HP there. Wow.
Power of raindrop though. So I should always buy one. Oh, he gets the dome. No way.
Domi just stood still under the tower.
Yeah, he did not expect him to stick around, I guess, with that low health.
Yeah, pretty Chad play from Simple Soul there. I'll give him that.
If Kaiko's not too careful, silence is just slow, he's dead.
I don't know if he gets this anymore.
Chrono.
I don't think he wants to use it though. I think they know that he doesn't have the damage.
Huh. Very interesting.
Chrono's certainly a way to pop one person though, once you get sharpshooter.
Yeah, I mean, they're smoking up right now. Void and the Tiny to the Dragon Knight? They don't have the damage to kill him.
They don't have sharpshooter either. Green coil,
They need
avalanche,
+1.
toss, tower.
Dire's top tower.
I'm dilation. Here comes the Aura Hoodwink. This is not a lot of damage, but I guess eventually.
Okay, okay. Quad bash him there? It just was like, yo, bro.
Alright,
Dire's top tower is falling.
just like, alright, guys. Jeez, please.
Yeah. Is it official?
Radiant's
seems-
bottom tower is under attack.
guys to kill me on the gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always say on my stream.
Yeah.
Maybe he was not because of the bashes though. It was like 5 bashes and 2 hits.
Yeah, but I like to,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
and I'll just have it just be.
Wait, that's just zipping out?
Kill me, mid.
Where? Well, you are a filthy Dragon Knight player, so.
Nice focus, guys. I built Power Treads double bracer with 4 points in Dragon's Blood and still died.
Yeah, idiot.
Yeah, stupid.
That's a real crime.
We love you. We love you. This is called satire.
Dire's middle tower is
Now it's
under
Puck and
attack.
Hoodwink smoking up
Dire's
together.
structures are fortified.
But counter smoke is also coming to the mid. The tower should just be gone.
It's Puck and Hoodwink, the greatest crime-fighting duo in the world. But YP is being hunted by
Dire's
Pelosi.
middle tower.
Yeah, he runs away.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
He's too quick. He's got hands this tiny. Listen, he's not giving up. My guy is persistent.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's what the P stands for in
Is under
Pelosi.
attack.
That's how you want to put it? Sure.
Oh. No, look at the Roche, guys. Shaman wards.
Yep, these stones will tank it, but the orb comes in, they know this is happening now.
But they've got themselves the Rolling Thunder. If they can get the kill on a Simple Soul to start this one off, they're going to feel a little. How far in the air did Sharpshooter comes out? They get the kill on a Simple Soul. I swear he was in the air. He was forever.
Giant rope heading up to heaven.
I mean, they never killed Roche. Simple Soul.
Roche way too low.
Aiko's coming back. They've got badges. They have Chrono in 12. They can't just leave Roche like this.
Why did they not finish Roche together?
This is one of those Game of Thrones moments where it's kind of like, they just forgot about Roshan.
And he's gonna have Chrono. If
It
you're
is what it is.
Bushwhack, just hoping for a bash. Here's the bash.
Jumps into Chrono.
And there's the pull, but they've got the silence, and oh well, the one in trouble is Kaiko. Okay, and
Sharpshooter.
Maybe so awkward.
this?
Oh my god.
Go careful.
Again. Acorn shot, the urn. Oh man, Simple Soul dead back to back. I can't believe it, and they still haven't finished off Roche. Well, somebody think of Roche. Please.
Well, want to be back up again.
What is this?
This isn't Dota anymore. This is like shirts off, like
rebound.
And to Roach
Quill on 2. Rolling Thunder. Dome comes over the top.
Oh my god.
And they get another kill. Fight. Rolling Thunder. Back in. And in you lose your
Radiant's
kill.
bottom tower is under attack.
There was a 4K lead before the fight started.
I think it's over. I think it's finally over.
Are we sure?
No, but I'm gonna say yes.
There was a 4K lead before the fight started. Now it's Legion.
Roshan has fallen to the
Never-ending fight finally ends, and Puck picks up the ages of 40 minutes into this game, fully bringing themselves back into the game after a pretty disastrous laning phase. But apparently all he needs to do is just rip your shirt off and roll in the river for half an hour, and the game's yours again. Easy.
I don't even know what to say after all that. Also, Kaiko went Midas. And
Of course he did.
yeah, he was gonna go Maelstrom, but I guess Midas was the play.
Smoke up. Phoenix
Now
on
another
the
fight. Phoenix, Dream Coil, not bad. Placed on 2. Spirit Vessel on the D-Stones. Bushwhack and Sharpshooter, just not enough damage.
Not so fast.
Okay. Well, that just happened.
Yeah, that Spirit Vessel's really annoying, especially the fact that he's got like a billion charges from that fight in the river. You can also shove it on DK every time, like his regen gets reduced, obviously. And he can't blink into the fight, which is a really annoying thing for him.
Well, I mean, if you just wait 30 minutes, the fight will still be happening, so you can get in there eventually.
One day.
Just
So if the puck keeps getting killed, we'll keep reapplying it.
Oh, well, Knights are also got his blink now though, so the game isn't as easy for the puck anymore. Razor still quite a bit away from his BKB. We spoke about the BKB timings and they're not playing for them. Smoke on smoke action.
Oh, Phoenix doesn't have a Dream Coil. Silence is around.
Dolman needs to die.
And they're gonna lose this Puck's first life.
They didn't focus Dolman.
Chronosphere, but they're gonna go after now Dolme coming through with the Rolling Thunder. So they thought about going after him, but instead the Rolling Thunder rolls and is thunderous across the bow of the YBB team.
And Puck also died though.
Twice, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they didn't focus Dolman, to be honest. Like, he was a much more important target, especially with the ages on the puck. But that does lead to their first BKB. That's very important.
Eiko with this Midas now has the Javelin.
9 to 8. No, can't quite catch it.
So Peloton is already upsetting me with his Marcy. He's not going for the Aether Lens, which I feel like when you're playing versus Void, the only way you're really going to get saves inside the Chrono is if you have the Aether Lens. So, not sure how I feel about this, but I am sure how I feel about this. Not great. But still going for the Blink Dagger, so that's alright.
For the evil.
Yeah, do you feel like the
Is he going to take all the money, or is he going to give it to his carry?
Good.
Carry.
Oh, right there. Pause and look at this big wave at top, yeah.
Yeah. Raise the exit.
Yeah. There's a Tiny who's been waiting around this top lane for a while here. He just really wants to get on a creep wave to finish his Blink Dagger, but doesn't want to die in the process.
Void now with the Maelstrom. Okay, who's a little bit stronger.
Yeah, Midas Maelstrom. I do actually like this build. So it's Giga greedy, but I'm not.
It should have never happened. Like he should not be this farmed right now. Like, this Roach fight was a really big disaster.
He has no right being in the position he's in, but the fact that he's there means that he's a genius and he foresaw all of this happening.
YP was also a genius until he wasn't.
For you.
Not a genius.
Bushwhack. Chrono. With Maelstrom. Dash. Looking for another. Doesn't need a
More heroes.
Gonna need it. Think about the Rolling Thunder. I think they spotted Polison, so I'm thinking about going back the other way. And that's exactly what they're gonna do. They've got the Dream Coil down, and there's the rebound, looking for the dispose onto the puck. Sharpshooter lines up, hits the DK, clicks in, pulls in. Oh, they've got themselves the Hex as well as the Serpent Wards. Kaiko, well, he hit his way out of that one. They've got Hara on the cliff.
How did he get up there? The Polison thrown up there?
Coming his inner Harteezy. 928 goes down, swashbuckle away, Spirit Vessel out on the Marcy. They get the kill into Polison. The bash. Get back. Avalanche is out. Pitful Soul in trouble. Spirit Vessel there. Ultra kill for Dome.
Yeah. YBB is really not on the same page at all. Some of them want to fight. They're not focusing any hero. Dragonite jumped on the puck, and then Shaman comes from the back, goes on the Void with all his stuff. And they're just so indecisive on who they want to kill.
Also, needs to check on this Faceless Void's pets or something, because he clearly made some sort of sacrifice to our Lord and Savior Gaben at the start of this game. Because he is just getting all the bashes he needs. Fight starts with that, ends with that. Bash Lord cometh.
Gotta say though, it's pretty cocky to TP out in front of a Razor like that. What's his only chance to get out?
Yeah.
But most of the time it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's
Alright, so Blink. Hates Batman, of course.
Ara. Oh, we're just never getting out of the silence. That silence is forever.
noxious. Yes.
Just like diamonds.
It's also balanced though.
Also monkeys. Shout out to monkeys forever.
Yeah, I like him. I met him in Canada.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a monkey with him?
No, he had a dog with him.
Alright, lost.
Yeah.
It's a monkey forever since the Twitch Rivals tournament where it
Since
was
forever.
first captain's draft, and I played horribly. Probably the best. Stones going down to YP. They had 3 heroes there to get that kill. Yeah, I did not play well in that tournament. He's probably like, forget that guy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I was very well known for holding it against people who are significantly lower ranked than them for not playing up to their same level as them.
I know.
Radiant's middle
Not being
tower.
serious, but
It's alright. Water under the bridge.
You're
Meanwhile,
being serious, but no man
Radiant's
is.
middle tower
he was
is
very
under attack.
sweet when we were playing together.
what a cutie. Anyway, Shenzhen, they take the middle tier 1 tower, thus securing themselves a much wider portion of the map. And now they move up to top, they can feel the wind in their sails, and they are looking to steam straight ahead into the enemy side of the map. YB will some sort of defense if they want to hold on to this tower.
Radiant's top tower is under
Fight
attack.
that looking
BKB.
for. Oh yeah, he's way too rich now.
Now they will suffer.
And he's going Lincoln's? Okay.
Radiant's top
I
tower
mean, I get it.
is under attack.
If you get hit
I
with
don't.
Shackle,
You don't go Lincoln.
Shackle,
No.
then you're just under the silence. You're pretty much in trouble.
You already know. Pick up. You do not go BKB Lincolns.
I usually agree. I feel like that bad though. In this game.
Yeah, the state of the
Dire's
game, maybe
bottom
not. Like
tower
there's
is under
really not
attack.
a whole lot going on for the Radiant.
Roche is up again. Maybe we'll see a different fight.
Fight. I'm ready for the brawl again. Let's go round 2. I didn't hear no bell.
Void BKB is on the Kuba. It could be a disaster. They're going in, but it's BKB now. Oh.
Yeah, now he's got the chrono. But I don't know if he really wants to fight into the Razor's ult. I don't know if that's going to matter. 928 goes down. The right clicks are in. He's getting these bashes. Aeonid's caught. Pelosin dead.
Yikes.
Oh,
That was super lucky.
he got a lot of bashes.
No,
I also got
more like speak of it being on the courier. Yeah.
That too. I mean, that's not lucky. That's just timing.
No. If he waited with it, I would give you that, but he did not wait with that. No.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I like to praise people when they deserve, but that was not planned. That way.
That point toss all the way back. Silence.
No BKB.
Back, and no BKB. Essence ring on the run. Dream
Coil to it.
It's the fake out. They get that kill on a Phoenix. There's the toss. They're still looking to take out the Razor. Sinful Soul finally falls. Well, falling into the grave, but it ends up being a 2-for-1 on something that they wanted to get really quickly. And
Look at Pelosin. He's stuck in the wards.
Die.
Come on, come on.
Now we're going to Blink Taker.
He's fine.
928 goes down though to Dolme. Oh gosh. Poor K lead. Let's see if he buys this Lincoln's, because he goes to the shard first. He's also looking for the Mjolnir.
You know what I learned, guys? BKB timings don't matter when you give the enemy a free Roche.
Yeah, true.
Refresher on Razor though. That's good.
Yeah, especially because if you activate, you could see how the Void didn't want to fight when he was, even when he threw the Chrono on top of the Razor, right? Like, Eye of the Storm still feels pretty bad to fight into.
Well, Refresher's done. Maybe that's the ring of hope they needed. They got triple BKB now as well. So if not now, then when? Well, how did you see him? Whatever.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Roche is up. Ingolier, so let's go.
Bush first hit bashing. How does it feel, Void?
Yeah.
Dire's bottom
Can you fight into
tower
this?
is under attack.
Rolling Thunder, Chrono, Dream Coil.
Well, they have triple BKB now, so 90% of the stuff is going to be rendered useless.
One of the ways they should buff Roshan is that for every second he doesn't attack someone, he gains like 5 extra damage for the next hit he makes. So if you leave Roche for a while, he just comes in, it's like smacks you for like 1k damage.
Is there a limit to it?
Nope.
Hold waiting, the first one to die, that would be a big pickup. And she's dead. And by the back.
though. Avalanche, toss, and now Pelosin. He's dead. He's got buyback.
Yep. Yeah, 0 items, Marcy. Struggling a little bit in this game.
To be stronger in general. I think he should start right-clicking faster as you stay in
Radiant's courier
the
has been killed.
I just want to say, I feel like Marcy should just invest in the, like the Blink tag is, I don't know how much it's going to do. Like, from the Marcy, or do you need the save from the Marcy? I'm inclined to say they need the save.
Is the dispose better though? Because of the...
BKB already Papa Aeon because he went in. They're going to look in the Hex, Serpent Wards, and the right click scene. No shackle duration on that. Well, he's got the stun.
BKB on fire.
And Kaito gets the time walk away just barely. The YP will eat the brunt of that damage, and now they've got the Rolling Thunder coming through. Time walking Chrono stops the Night Stalker in his track.
Damage to...
Walk into the Chrono or Kaito?
Phoenix?
And Kaito, Phoenix both die, and they're both gonna buy back. See in forced from Hara onto the high ground.
Round 2, let's go!
Yeah, but they've got the Dream Coil down once again. That's going to be on to 2. They've stunned up this Pangolier, but they get the kill to Pelosin. I guess he'll just stay in the air forever there.
I'll you go, my child.
Eventually, you have to come down.
You've been raptured.
Right into an open grave slot.
No, you sent to heaven, bro.
Such a weird interaction.
Okay, I'm actually getting excited, man. Like, Kaiku never pops his BKB, man. Any game. It's just hotkey button.
Well, he's just zen, dude.
No.
He's very zen. He doesn't panic. He's like, ah, yeah. Yes, they're stunning me, the fools. Little do they know.
Oh, Dragon Knight stunned me.
He just knows.
What could I have done to avoid this?
I did enjoy River Rumble Mark II, though. What did you guys think? Was it as good as the first River Rumble?
No, the sequel's never as good.
Never is.
Radiant's top
That
tower
magic,
is
that
under
je ne sais
attack.
quoi.
Yeah. You
Radiant's
kind of already know what's
structures
coming.
are fortified. Radiant's
Razor
top
did
tower
put in a
has
lot of
fallen.
damage, though. That's good.
Good Razor.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
Why does no one like wins on Razor anymore?
I mean, the armor is just too important. But
Yeah.
after Shiva's, but then the mobility is becoming really important, so you want to blink. But then after that, then it's okay.
Link, Shiva's AC, BKB, Refresher Orb, then
Yeah. So like fifth item.
basically an Axe Rush. That a nice 60-minute lags. You'll probably get one from Roche anyway. But even last game, they got one from Roche Ali to go into the Razor.
Yeah, that is.
That's insane. Got a Refresher Orb, but I should always be giving that to the Razor. But
Oh yeah.
that's just me.
It's way too good.
Money.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It also gives you some
double
serious
damage.
ratting potential as well with the Razor. Razor is a phenomenal rank. Pretty ridiculous. Yeah, you're doing the rewarding.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
That's a great thing about playing support, right? No one can ever flame you for dying, because you can just be like, oh, it's warding.
It's not true.
Okay.
You heard?
Everyone muted, so
silence,
I
yeah.
can say that. And just assume everyone says, alright, no worries, buddy. Hardest.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah, this
is
isn't
under
always
attack.
good enough, but that's okay with me.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It'd be nice to make this tier 2
Dire's structures are
For
fortified.
whom?
for both sides. Both creep waves.
Radiant's bottom tower is
So
under
that
attack.
Shenzhen are gonna be the ones who the tier 2 first.
Massive bugs.
Yeah, creep waves coming.
That was slow. That was
Radiant's
slow.
bottom
You could have
tower
had
has fallen.
2 seconds earlier. What? Kaiko.
Same. Press. Then
Dire's
BKB.
top tower is under attack.
Is he just buying out Gessner?
No, it's going to Lincolns.
He's got both queued up.
Oh, look, the Pangolin has a Lincolns
Radiant's
too.
bottom tower is under
I
attack.
guess he does have the Lincoln's recipe on the couriers, so
Dude, it
it's
actually
decided.
Like, for pop. Nobody wants to get stunned, so everybody builds the
Radiant's
Lincolns.
middle tower is under attack.
Hubs are the future, Black.
No,
Hubs of the past,
Sir?
bro.
certainly not the ones that I'm playing lately.
Hubs are the future. And this E-Blade next for Phoenix. 8K lead here for Shenzhen.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Down.
Hey,
How long is your day? How long have you been casting now, BK?
I don't know, like 7 hours.
7 hours? Okay, cool. Fun times. Classic China Div 2. How you feel?
4-man smoke. Ooh. Simple soul. Uh-oh.
BK.
yeah, try to TP.
Try it. Try it. I'll bash you first hit. Second hit. Refresh. Oh, dude, Coel. Bad? Nah, he doesn't need. Whatever. Meiko gets the kill. Simple soul game. That's for sure.
That's fun serious.
Unfun game. 10 and 6, you know, that's pretty action packed. I'd be happy with that.
Fact, but I certainly started way better than it's been
Radiant's
finished.
middle tower is under attack.
There goes the
Radiant's
Aegis.
middle tower is under
Who's
attack.
building the next Lincoln?
Tip 2, gonna fall.
Dire's bottom tower
Shenzhen getting
is
some
under
buildings
attack.
done.
They still have Chrono. Like, this isn't exactly
Radiant's
going to be an
middle
easy
tower is
fight
under attack.
for YBB. Especially with
60
no
second
Razor.
buyback. Yeah, pretty bad on that. That's a good toss back from Paulson here. Let's see if they can follow up that. Kaiko's running in. He's got the Chrono. Not going to use it just yet, though. And now they jump in with the Shackle onto the Tiny, but Shaman just gets beaten to death by Kaiko. They don't finish the job. Oh, there we go. Jumps back in and does get it done. And now they look more as they move on. Tiny needs help. No BKB today means no life for you, sir. Oh my god. It's... Oh, what a snipe! Oh my god.
Heroes.
That was amazing.
And I'm gonna get you.
Right in the needle, baby. That's...
Oh, he doesn't have the mana for it.
Radiant's
That's why
top
it doesn't
tower
open,
is
sir.
under attack.
They're gonna get the kill and he came in too far. He is godlike. He is having
No, it's gone beyond godlike, actually.
beyond with this one. Yeah. Swashbuckle. Phoenix was
Steal.
never mind. If he only uses BKB there, maybe they win the game in that exact moment.
Yeah, but you can't win the game before minute 60.
But he has a 7-second BKB still. You think about that, did you, Black?
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh.
I did.
Oh.
Oh, he said BKB? Please.
I just can't believe it. Like 3 fights in a row, 3 games in a row. Something was wrong with his hotkey.
Keystones.
Maybe he doesn't have
Maybe.
hotkeys for his items. Maybe he's a clicker.
And it would be easier than that. It just literally looks like it's clicking and nothing's happening. That's how it looks like. Because if I click items, it would be faster than that for sure.
Dire are scanning.
Alright, stream it.
Radiant's
have to do-
courier has been killed.
Okay, sure. You know, literally anything is faster than not doing it at all, right? So I literally already won. But now that I can prove that I'm faster, you have to give like $1,000.
That's profit right there. That is profit.
Alright, you can open that up to community funding.
No, you.
Here we go. River Rumble, round 3.
Yeah.
Don't stop it though. It's not allowed.
It's always about the trilogy.
Versus
YP? BKB starting to get pop. Chrono on the edge. What? He's alive. I can't believe it. He actually ends up surviving. They have the pressure. They don't get dead. Soul. They get the kill on the YP. Finally, D-Stones gets it because he's got that egg. That free pathing of the Elder Dragon. But 928 full soul. They go down. June Coil placed on the ground. Illusory Orb Sharpshooter. They've got the break. They'll get the kill to Polos, and they'll go for T-Stones. 4 heroes gone, and they want the last one. They want this Night Stalker. They're gonna look for more. YP moving in. YP with the avalanche. They've got the bushwhack. And a unit dies. A full team wipe for Shenzhen.
Alright, River Rumble 3 was rubbish. I'm gonna say it.
Nobody likes quick knockouts.
Yeah, they've just exhausted the series. They're out of content, but look at this from Shenzhen. They're going for the end right now. They see blood in the water, and they're going for it. Let's see, do they go for the back? They go, no, they want to finish the game. I mean, there's buybacks available on the side. Alright, game's over,
That's
folks.
not allowed.
They heard the Beacon wants to go to bed, and they, yeah, they're out. Call it. We've got a sleepy caster on our hands, which you couldn't tell from his wonderful casting. But Shenzhen take the victory here, and therefore take the series in a 2-1 extravaganza of a series. And in the end, they managed to pull it off with a faceless void, with a puck, and I think mostly the Pangolier going absolutely wild. I mean, like you talked about how good the BKBs were going to be. This game for the side of Shenzhen, and then they pick a hero with an inbuilt BKB who just runs around the fights doing whatever the hell he wants, absolutely dominating everyone. But overall, I mean, what were the critical points of this game which led to the Shenzhen victory?
Well, obviously the biggest one, the most tragic one, that first Roshan was never ever supposed to happen. They had so much time to finish that Roshan. All of them ran out of the pit one by one. You should actually watch that in the replay. Like, first hitting Roche, then 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then 500 HP left, and D-Stone says, yeah, I never wanted that anyway. Screw that. Goes into the fight. We all know what happened after. 3-minute fight. 5k gold advantage gone.
He couldn't resist the River Rumble, that's the problem. You know, when that fighting starts, everyone's just like...
That's all he was requiring to get the kill. We saw prior without that kind of damage item with the focus fire, they were lacking it. This is JJ's off to a flying start as well, 1-0. And
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And I didn't even... I know it's not relevant this game, but Marcy pairing together with a Wind Ranger, focus fire, offside, they're going to find another kill onto Crush.
this Viper, what game is he going to have? The lane going as poorly as what it has. I struggle to see how they're really going to bring him in. And look at this, he's got Dragonlance and the Scepter queued up.
Like, he just needs to try and... It's possible now, and those are the items that are going to enable him to do it. He's not a farmer, he's not a skirmisher.
JJ might be in trouble. Nice rotation from Summer. The supports combining for trade into the jungle. Sees Y and Trezam combined together to the bounty rune timing. They were expecting JG to move back to refill the bottle. So beautiful read from Summer.
Get a nice deep ward down, seeing the fact that the Terrorblades farming up in this camp. The bounty rune, of course, is one of those key timings. So good read of the map at that time. Why? Going to be quite some time until he gets into that Blink Dagger and has his true impact, but it's just all about enabling Crush as much as possible. Let him build up that farm, use the Nether Toxin to beat the farm a little bit, just get that a little bit of extra quick wave.
It's a Blink rebuild for the Shanking. Onto T once again, pretty much same spot almost as where we saw JG go down on the Wind Ranger. This was all set up thanks to the Observer Ward that was placed as well from Trezam on the Grimstroke. So nicely done from Summit. This net worth lead is not really continuing to grow.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was mentioning before how important it is to be able to consistently get kills onto Mercury. He died a couple of times, sure, once solo.
Bottom lane, Morphling, Rolling Thunder, focus fire from JG. Unknown's going to try and play around with the Wind Ranger Replicate. Now turns for the shackles, beautifully done for the Morphling, and Mercury's going to jump in the lane, offers the damage required to get rid of JJ's Wind Ranger, and that was beautiful from Unknown, using the Wind Ranger back against himself.
Buys a crazy amount farmed though, level 7. 1.6k gold in the bank as well. I'm just trying to think what he even wants to go for here. Like, what's going to be the best option? Could it be something like
Dire's top
Age
tower
Slayer
is
perhaps,
under
just to
attack.
reduce that damage output coming from the team?
Should have a
Dire's
loser fight?
bottom
Is that who we're
tower
looking at?
is under attack.
Who are we looking at?
Yep.
Dire's structures
Holding a lot of
are
gold.
fortified.
I really think the Mage Slayer might be the one. Good value out of it with the Wukongs, just with the Boundless Strike as well, and connect it onto so many, and a lot of your damage output is dependent on
Radiant's top
spells.
tower is
Look
under
at the
attack.
secret shop down bottom.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Mercury and
attack.
Shazam.
Dire's
Just been
bottom
spamming
tower has
Epi
fallen.
and Ink Spell. Just waiting for someone to come to defend the T1 tower. Rapido is wary of this.
Radiant's top
He might have
tower
even
is
seen the
under
courier
attack.
flying to the secret shop with the absorber they
Dire's
have placed
middle
by the
tower is under
outpost.
attack.
Staying in the trees though. Oh, they commit.
Mercury
Radiant's
jumps
top
him under the
tower
T2
is
tower.
under
There's the
attack.
magic damage. Rapido
Dire's bottom
is
tower
not
is
gonna
under
get
attack.
away. Swashbuckle the last second. I was just gonna say that, dude. If he gets away with all of this committed and all the time that Summit put just waiting there, then that would be a disaster. But crushed by the secret shop up top. JG's gonna be able to run into him, and with Lucifer's position, we'll be able to scout out any more reinforcements that show up. They're gonna continue to take the fight. They've got the Wukong controlling the neighborhood, but to the north, Unknown waveforms aggressively finds a 1-for-1. But again, it's a support for a core trade.
That's the important thing, just making sure that the Viper continues to not have an impact on the map, make more space for Ken on his Terrorblade. He's going a little bit of a slower, he's had a bit of a slower time, excuse me, compared to Unknown in terms of his farm on the TB in the previous game, but I think it's all just going to be how he actually converts the time that he has free on the map to not staying in the jungle, into pushing into these towers, because as of right now, Wind Ranger doesn't push towers, Pango doesn't push towers, Gyro support doesn't push towers, neither does the Monkey King. You can push lanes fairly decently with the Pango and the Monkey King, but it's really just going to be all on the Terrorblade to be able to make the most use out of his alone time on the map and free up more of those spaces to be able to farm both for himself and his greedy supports. Monkey King switched up a couple of times. I was saying the Mage Slayer, he previously had the pipe queued, and now he's going into the Diffusal Blade.
I think it's pretty cool that we get to see an occasion where both the carries are on the back-to-back games. They're playing the opposite carrier, I suppose to say. Ken last game was playing the Morphling, this game is playing the Terrorblade, and same for the carry on Summit. So it's just interesting to see kind of their adaptation to how they look to itemize. Of course, the 4 other heroes they're versing will be slightly different as well, but it's kind of cool to see the adaptation and how they read these carries a little bit different.
Kill there on JG. So that little bit of a stun to be able to secure the arcane route for himself. Lane so vulnerable to getting pickoffs, even just with the javelin, right? Is got the focus fire available. You want to take advantage of it. But all-man smoke actually coming out here.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Three.
under attack.
Manifold to be able to take a consistent fight. Lucifer is still just staying in the trees.
Great position.
That
Jump Tiki instead. Oh man, Lucifer was almost clipped by the Burrow Strike. They're gonna still jump in. Look, Mito's got the force, they got the meta damage. If Terrorblade's able to enter the fight, and he should be able to, thanks to all the stun lock that Rapido's providing. Now down to the south they go. They're gonna try and chase down CZY in the tree line as Ken, right place at the right time, is the Terrorblade, and a 3-for-1 exchange goes the way of Made in Philippines.
again, player of the series so far has been Lucifer, right? He's just got a crazy amount of farm, more than his position 3. Say, was he trying to snipe that full neutral camp that Rapido was taking? But no, just softening it up for him a little bit. To scout out that smoke, dodge the initiation that was coming in onto him as well, win the team fight, and then that allows Ken to use the remainder of his metamorphosis to claim first towers on the map.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's like I'm gonna try and even out the trade though instantly.
Dire's top tower.
T1 tower claimed up top for the Morphling, and this should give him enough gold for the Yasha now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
GG. Posturing to get a kill, but importantly, it's just securing the regen as well. Gonna be a power rune. It's not gonna be a make something happen rune, I should say, with like a haste or double damage rune for JG, but he'll use the regen to help farm.
Yeah, you could still look to join with the rest of the team, right? You got the Spirit Vessel coming out now for the Pangolier, and that is
fire. The solo Wukong's diffuser blade completed for the Monkey King, so gonna help bring down the Sand King. He's gonna push him away from this skirmish, so there's not gonna be the threat of that counter initiation. So Mastodon from Lucifer. It is the Wukong's expended though for that.
I don't think you really care about the Wukongs, to be honest. Like, it's really just there to have that Orb of Venom procking on. Well, the Spirit Vessel's the bigger timing. Rapido, he's been able to pick it up, and I mean, look at what it means in terms of the net worth, though, this game. Even though he got absolutely crushed in lane, no pun intended, Rapido is still about 1,000 net worth behind this Viper.
This will come in handy.
This is the downside, I think, of playing the Pango in that position 3 role, right? You don't get the earlier levels, you don't have the real impact coming out from Shield Crash and SWAT being maxed out early on, so... Summit fell apart last game. I really want to see Made in Philippines making the most of this timing with the Spirit Vessel. You're up against a Morphling, you've got to use it.
Do you feel like they have to bring everyone in this smoke, or maybe they can smoke as 4 and connect with the Terrorblade pushing a lane?
I mean, I honestly think that you can just use the Wind Ranger plus the Pango, maybe the Gyrocopter as well, to be able to do it. Lucifer, again, doing a good job pushing out this bottom lane, making it so that someone needs to be addressing this, setting up for a gank perhaps towards the Morphling when someone reveals the fact that they're being bottom. I mean, it's a siege creep wave as well, so someone will need to address this, or at the very least, they might get a glyph out of it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Closing on some big items in regard to the carries. You got Manta completed on the TB, so nothing really going to have much impact in fights. Mainly this Manta's just going to help increase his farm, give him a little bit more stats as well, and for the Morphling, closing on the Sanj and Yasha for unknown. So it's not like we're kind of looking for their item pool early on to maybe get involved.
Still just looking at how they've been able to execute on Made in Philippines. Why? Can you see a reason why they're not getting active? I mean, maybe waiting for the Blink Dagger on the Pangolier, but you've got a Wind Ranger and a Pangolier now that are both below the Viper that died 5 times in the laning stage. I'm not seeing it, you know? You're giving them time to be able to come back into this.
I'm not sure if there was... It's come down to dewarding on Trezam. It just... Maybe it's the fact that they don't have deep wards. Hold that thought as... Pump making the epi on Tiki. They don't have any deep wards to play with, so maybe this is... I don't know how many... Well, we haven't seen them smoke in ages, so I have to imagine they've got at least 2 or 3. You just got to smoke and get wards down. You need to set yourselves up for JG to get these pickoffs, and maybe it's all... This tier 1 tower still standing mid, so it's just a little bit more difficult for you to be able to venture aggressively into Summit's territory.
Sure, but I feel like you've got Monkey King, who's super capable under a smoke of being able to place a lot of these wards in unconventional places without getting caught out. So, I don't know, I just feel like they're missing their opportunity with how farmed Lucifer is, with having that Spirit Vessel timing, with having, you know, a Wind Ranger tail.
Rapido deep behind the T1 tower here, but no coup with the damage from the epicenter should be able to bring him down, but it's going to come at a cost. Wukong's along with the damage from Ken gets the 1-for-1 trade, and they're going to look to hit back onto Trezam. Ken has got to respect Crush for the moment, though. Sunned it out, unknown, very hesitant to jump in, still finds a window. Waveform into the middle, CZY's going to try and land the combo as well as Ken. He'll tick out to the magic damage, but they got the hit back as unknown. He's in the middle. There's no escape with the waveform still being on cooldown. An ultra kill for Ken, even in the grave of the Terrorblade. And they're going to move this one into a Viper. CZY slapped down from the Pangolier. And maybe they were just waiting for Summit to get a bit too antsy, dive too deep, and then they could spring the trap.
Full team wipe coming through there. damage able to be output. Oof, nearly sniping JG as he goes for the double damage rune. All that damage able to be output by the Terrorblade and the Wind Ranger. That was the fight that they were finally hoping for.
Every coin
CZY, he really put in work as well. Multiple Avatos combinations, making the most out of the Blink Dagger, but still not enough. It's always the threat, taking these fights around these tier 1 towers, right? When it's just not down. It allows for those reinforcements to come, gives you a little bit of that vision and attribute advantage with the armor.
Radiant
Life's a little bit more difficult.
Dire are
The amount of experience Dire would have got as well, not just the gold. Not like they've grown too much in regards to the advantage in economy, but it's the experience maybe finding these next talents. When Terrorblades hit his level 15.
Dire's middle
The Wind Ranger as well, who went for the Wind Run cooldown, so down to 8 seconds here for JG. Both position ones feel like a BKB is required at this stage of the game. And has already got his with the disassemble of the Dragon Lance, and I imagine we're going to see the same from the Morphling.
Dire's structures are
Yeah, Crush could have had one as well, but
Double jump. Just gets blown up into the next life.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
whenever this is happening, I'm just like, okay, what's Loserfy spending his time doing? Of course, he's super capable of being able to shove out these lanes without giving up his life. He's looking to continue farming on this bottom side of the map. Won't do any tower damage this time, but feels like it's really important for him to pick up that BKB for himself to be able to counter out the threat of CZY just coming in, tossing him out of the Wukongs. It really is the big thing that's going to set up for your Pangolier rolling through Terrorblade to just be able to stand there and right click.
Summit there. Treating that Made in Philippines making a play down bottom. CZY and Trezam playing up by the high ground, but no one's going to be home, so they're going to back off towards their mid lane. On tower defense duty. I'm very surprised at the amount of farm that Crush has been able to find. Of course, it's not going to be a Viper that's scaling into like this third core, like right-clicking core in a way, but still the fact that it is higher net worth than the Wind Ranger. So give props to Crush.
I think the big thing for him is that he just needs to make sure, I mean, they're smoking when he's 20 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter. I think you need to make sure you're going past the secret shop because to land that.
They're going to jump Ken instead though. Oh, smoke pops. Unknown. Edge is a little bit too far forward. It's going to give him an opportunity to pop the BKB and turn it around. Now the Wukongs as well controlling the fight. Because with the backline Ken, he's protected. There's nothing. Summit without the taking a fight inside their own territory. Ken can back up to his high ground and then reset. Crush should be able to TP out. Oh, having a vision on the higher ground, but a 3-for-1 and again another fight going the way of Made in Philippines.
They just want to convert this into Roche immediately while they've still got half meta duration, not caring about that mid-tier 1. Have to use a decent amount of cooldowns on the summon side, but Sandking still being dead for another 10 seconds in the big end.
Regeneration.
Let's comment on Radiant.
You got a Monkey King providing all that vision.
BG is going to move outside the pit as well. And make some space for them to go. Aegis snagged there. No metas on cooldown. They can take the fight on Summit. Unknown's going to wait for him in. CZY is going to jump as well. So 2 heroes burst it down just like that.
They cut their losses. It's supports at the end of the day, right? So it's not going to mean all that much. Lanes aren't in a position to be able to get too much more of anything. Tier 1 obviously already gone. Someone, or at least the Illusions, will be able to deal with these creeps in mid. So yeah, I feel like Made in Philippines are going to be very happy with having that secondary life. We did see though, at the very start of that, Crush, he's got the Aghanim Scepter now. It was the thing that I was really wanting them to get before they went for that smoke previously. Maybe it could have been a slight difference maker, probably not still. Every single engagement, he's going to look to try and drop the Viper Strike onto this Wind Ranger.
They're going to try and solo kill him on JG. Do see Unknown nearby, especially with the Rolling Thunder assistance. Doesn't get the bounce back, but it goes the long way around for the double stun. Even clips on Mercury. Really nicely played from Rapido. They go back in. Dial starting to connect. Ken's beelining it to the neighborhood. They want to take the fight. 4-on-5. Rolling Thunder on cooldown, but They will not be able to catch up.
But that's the great aspect of having that Viper Strike, right, against the win range. You're essentially completely negating the impact of the Wind Run. Wind Run gives you that plus 60% movement speed. With 2 points in the Viper Strike, you're reducing 60% movement speed. Of course,
Every coin,
yeah,
my
it's
coin.
slowly regained over the Viper Strike duration, but once you hit level 18, it's actually stronger.
Get in the river. Very good to jump as well onto Tiki. Ken's gonna actually consider about taking the fight. Metamorphosis pop for the first life, targeting down CZY, but the leash it's gonna hold back Ken. Look, turn to Mercury instead with a Burrow Strike, repositioning. They get the shackle connection, but it doesn't matter. Take the fight with the BKB on cooldown, so this is a window now for Radiant. BKB,
is under attack.
you could consider about taking a fight.
I think they might just want to wait out this meta duration and then look to go. They don't even want to kill the Terrorblade at this stage. Like, of course, it would be great if they could, but he's still got the Aegis for 3 minutes. You are going to have the opportunity for someone to be able to TP in to help. Still all 3 tier 2 towers up. So it's either a, okay, well, they can't make anything aggressive happen. Let's just get our next items sort of situation happening. And, well, with Crush, he's saying, I want the Ghost Scepter. I want to be able to survive against this Wind Ranger, force her to go into the Nullifier to be able to kill me. Even against the Pangolier and the Terrorblade, it's going to be a really useful tool.
Look out for fallen rocks!
I see Unknown as well is considering about going into the Daedalus, has Chrysalis already completed, so feeling like there's a bit of lack of damage here for the side of Summon.
Radiant are scanning.
It's alright, it'll be alright. Gets a blink away from down bottom, so very even state of this game. 1,000 or under 1,000 net worth lead for Summon at the moment. We were mentioning that they might consider about taking the fight. BKB is back up from the Terrorblade. Beto as well has got 50 seconds. Only a minute 40 left on the Aegis though, so they might not get much out of this. By up top.
Make it tier 1.
Oh, blowing up the Monkey King. That is a lot of damage when CZY drops the combo and Unknown has the follow-up.
Result of that Observer Ward that they just placed up on the Tinker spot as well. Just catching him out as he was jumping back towards the safety of the tier 2 tower. And pop an aggressive lift here, of course, also protecting against the bottom side. Save the siege creep though. Does mean that they don't have the backdoor protection, and without that Monkey King, they're just feeling confident of saying, well, fire supports are going to have a free team fight without that additional vision.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Summit first tier 2 tower of the game is going to be claimed, so they got the outpost control now. Dire trying to wrap around their location though, maybe see if they can catch someone out in the river. They do have this ward on the higher ground.
Top tower is under attack.
Run into anyone, however.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This game, at least in terms of the position ones, is almost an exact copy of what we saw last game, right? The Terrorblade 2 levels behind the Morphling. About to hit up onto your Skadi timing though on Ken. So let's see if he actually makes better usage out of it than we saw from Summit last time around. Might just want that level 20 or the extra common image duration or the extra all stats. It is going to be a very useful tool at just withstanding the initial burst barrage or putting a lot more map pressure on.
Radiant's
Again,
bottom
use
tower
of those
is under
illusions.
attack.
So what do we feel like JG's role in these fights are going to be now that Viper has Ghost Scepter? Because it's going to be very difficult for JG to target him down. So who is he going to be putting a little bit more emphasis on?
For me, I would say probably the Tiny. Like, you're still obviously having the Maelstrom there, so even though he's got a bunch of armor with the Grow, that plus the Focus Fire is going to be able to kill him most likely in a lot of these engagements. So I think CCY has been playing these team fights pretty well so far. So if you're able to take out that impact, then very important. We see DD or Unknown up here on the top side, but speaking about the Tiny being the next main target, I think that was a double smoke. He's going into the Ghost Scepter himself as well. So it's just, he realizes he's going to be the next target as the priority there.
Radiant's bottom tower
And even look
is
to build
under
it into an
attack.
E-Blade later on, so it's not like it's pigeonholing yourself either.
Oh. Out!
Are scanning.
I scan.
Dire's
Decent.
middle tower
They've
is
got
under
honestly
attack.
very good vision down bottom to take a fighter made in Philippines, but obviously they don't feel comfortable moment. They did get those items completed though. Skadi on the Terrorblade. For BKBs to work with. Wind Ranger's got a lot of gold in the bank though, so won't have all her net worth being utilized.
Has she even seen the Viper ever since he picked up the Ghost Scepter?
Sure,
I feel like now is actually the first time.
The Rolling Thunder. They're going to consider blow up unknown for the moment. It doesn't matter. Mercury gets a jump instead. Terrorblade gets blown up. Not an opportunity for the BKB nor the Sunder. Rapido's going to try at least get the Tiny, but that's going to come at a cost. Blink up shortly. They'll get the damage tick. So he's going to be relying on the swashbuckle down to the low ground, but unknown. He's got the waveform range to close the distance, and you saw his made in Philippines. If they jumped like a second later, Pango, he would have been able to initiate onto the Morphling, but it just was not the case in the end. They get rid of Ken easily.
Buyback used here on the Pango. Oof, they were looking to go for a super deep dive there with Mercury, forcing it back, but this tower is going to be dropped. Probably going to be a set racks as well. Got these creeps still staying alive for the next little bit. Of course, Viper uses a right clicker in his own right. Surely they commit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Full set of barracks advantage now. That's giving them a lot of gold to be able to play with. BKB just completed for the Sand King. Known 2,800 gold in the bank as well, so closing in on the Satanic. Summit prime position now, 7,000 lead. At one fight to multiple objectives claim.
Meant to the win probability. This is what I was talking about when I was saying, all right, you've hit a bunch of these timings, you got to make exact same mistake that Summit did in the previous game. They just sat back on.
Radiant are
They've had one good team fight go their way, realistically, right? That counter initiation around when they had the tier 1 tower still available from that mid lane, but they're not proactive enough. I mean, you've got a Monkey King, you've got the vision.
JJ being so far behind on the Wind Ranger, like not snowballing. KD is looking fine, 4-2-8, but this is a hero that you really need to take over the game. Like, you can't be doing mediocre as this hero. You're kind of seeing some issues with how they can get pickoffs. They saw Mercury farming up the lane on the Sand King, but JJ was reliant on, it was the Pangli on Rapido to be able to jump instead. So that just, there was an opportunity that slipped by, and there's been multiple opportunities that have slipped by as well.
I know he's playing it as a mid laner, but I'm almost wondering, like, is this a game where you need to go Gale Force just to enable your Terrorblade a little bit further in these team fights? There's only 2 BKBs on Summit so far, so if you can catch out a Viper and keep him pushed back towards the rest of the team, it does give you a lot more openings to have a successful
Lane
engagement.
Crush. The Kratos got the Rolling Thunder. Oh, he misses the first stuff, and the fourth stuff back into the Rolling Thunder. Now the fourth's going to come through. Mercury double burrow strike in the river, but Ken finally has alive. He's ground protected with the BKB, the Metamorphosis as well, but Ken, is he going to stick around for this team fight? As he's wasted everything for the moment. They haven't been able to blow up the heroes on Summit. Ken still trying to find the Sunder tug. The BKB soon to expire. Gets the Sunder. Now with the bonus health over onto the Morphling, but it will not matter. CZY flies into the middle of the fight. Drops the combo. TB's gone. And the Morphling reigns supreme for another engagement.
I mean, the Viper was just allowed to come back into that fight. They didn't finish their food. That was a big difference maker, you know, able to get a lot of that movement slow onto the TB, make it a little bit more difficult for him to standard man fight. Of course, as well, the magic resistance reduction that you were able to get as a result of just having even the single right click onto him.
Mercury's, he's having quite the game here on the Sand King, especially that fight, just the multi-man burrow strike to initiate. And we even saw though they gave the Lincolns. Ken had BKB popped early and the meta, so it was an engagement where we didn't see him get blown up, but he did a very good job to kite the TB. And do you feel like this is just, they're maybe lacking stuns on Made in Philippines and they need to blow heroes up through like the Rolling Thunder usage?
So, I mean, I still feel like his Viper should be dying, and he's got the Hurricane Pike as well, so if you're the ones to make the aggressive movement onto, let's say, the Terrorblade, you'll be able to bring him low. It becomes a lot more riskier for him to potentially have that Sunder turn around moving forward, but as long as you get off the Hurricane Pike, you push him away, you get those last few right clicks with how farmed the Viper's been able to get. It's a lot more difficult, and he's actually got an Aeon Disc completed as well on this Viper. Got it assembled, wanting to be ready for that turnaround potential. Another DD unknown as well.
And look at Mercury's location. Oh, okay. They got the ward on the high ground, the Tinker ward, and no one else is nearby. So they get set up and they drop a couple of ultimates for this kill. But this DD might catch them off guard.
Just waiting as well. They want someone to come to the left-hand side. That's why Made in Philippines are hugging the one little area of safety that they've got. Unknown to bake down here.
Don't do it, don't do it. Lucifer's going to try and get them the vision. Leash onto the backline, Crush able to get the Viper strike off as well. Lucifer's going to try and TP, but Unknown just destroys the Monkey King. Is going to try and transition this into a secondary kill. Repeatable attempt to TP out, but Mercury jumps into the tree line, offers the stun to cancel the TP in its tracks. And now the objective soon to be under siege.
They might be looking to continue in onto this. I mean, they've still got the Aegis. No double damage, but considering it is a 5v3, I'd be feeling confident. Although other lanes pushed out, it's still going to be quite some time until this later creeps comes. Still fairly confident though.
Wide in, tries to get the force toss back. He's not going to be able to do so successfully. They're targeting Talon Ken. Hurricane Pike back to safety. Ken's going to be fine.
Spent the big portion of that first engagement still with a Philosopher's Stone equipped, but now he's switched it in for the Blast Rig. He still had the Ghost Scepter to be able to protect himself, but this is another Terrorblade game that has not been aggressive enough. I was saying it before, he is your push. Feels to me like they've been pretty lax on being able to use that one to its full potential.
How do you hold the defense down without the Metamorphosis? CZY going to find Lucifer in the tree line. He's going to buy back Repeater with a long roll and Thunder into the middle, but the force stuff again, cutting the chain control into half, and they're trying to blow up Unknown, but he's got Aegis. Unknown does not give a damn. The damage, it's severely lacking without the meta, and towards the backline, Pengali has got no assist. Since he's way too deep, or maybe it's just a Morphling that is bodyguarding the rest of the lineup on some, but now they've been able to jump in. Soulblind into the double Burrow Strike. They'll have an opportunity for the BKB, but the Viper Strike connecting onto two. Gonna have to try and sunder his own teammate to get some health back, but Mercury, he'll die for his sins, but at least he gets a Burrow Strike before he's killed off. Maybe giving Morphling an opportunity. Get ready, Karen, but that's not gonna be the case, and back to the objectives they go. There's 4 staffs.
The one range Rax left as well.
Dyer's middle
Mega secured.
Meta is up now. Like you said,
The Radiant now have Mega
JG, can he cancel anything? Shackle's on cooldown. Gets the connection to CZY, so hey, at least you get the Tiny. Of course, it comes at a grave cost. That Mega Creeps now on the cards, and I imagine we're up to Rapier territory for the Terrorblade.
Suppose, but even then, it's just going to be quite a while until you finish that one up, and I don't think you have that time. Just been a little bit too passive. Multiple Terrorblade games where you didn't group up with the rest of your team. Summit exploited the fact that when net meta isn't available, your team fight prowess is so weak. Finally, going into the Nullifier on the Wind Ranger, it's going to be after the Lincoln Sphere. It's against a bunch of different Ghost Scepters. I think Grimstroke almost has his. You've got the one on the Tiny. You've got the one on the Viper as well. It's up against the Aeon Disc on the Viper as well. But Tiny can very easily go into the E-Blade here. Still got Shadow Blade and still the type of blade, but more of that pick-off potential, I suppose, considering the buybacks having been used previously by Made in Philip.
Yeah, CZY has done a very good job with his initiation on the Tiny. Always feels like he's getting that right jump, trying to at least just control a target. If they're not even blowing up, at least it's forcing some reactions, breaking the formation on Made in Philippines.
Well, at least they got a leveler. You know, they're going to need to take some objectives if they're going to have any chance And coming up against Megas, what's Dota Plus giving them? 1%. They're saying there's a chance. Okay.
Hype.
You talk too much, Wukong.
You gotta... What do we even do at this stage? You've got a Monkey King that's near level 20, and he's holding on to a lot of net worth. I mean, you look at this, you probably assume that he might be a core at this stage, and he's certainly been farming like one. But, I don't know, it just feels like some of this impact might have been better if he went for that raid pack that he's got queued up now, one item earlier.
Watch it is another game though we haven't seen the... We haven't really seen the Pain go off lane have as much impact. Crushing game 1 really struggled. Rapido in game 2 is really struggling. He's just mentioning about the net worth on the Monkey King. You take a look at the Pain goes and, well, the position 4 in rating is ahead of Rapido, so definitely not a game that he'd want to remember.
It's all, and unfortunately wasn't able to claim them, having to share a lane with someone else.
Last push.
Radiant's current.
Summit. Let's see how they can convert on this. We'll try and jump the Terrorblade to start the fight. Oh my, alright, well, bye-bye Terrorblade. Again, the leash into the double burrow strike has been perfect for some of these past couple of engagements. Ken's gonna fire back and try and get in the middle. They've got the detection out of it in the moment. Ken's already down to half health. He ever so cautious he doesn't get blown up.
Back up entirely. CZ White just looking for his opportunity. Go and get the toss back happening under the cover of the Shadow Blade.
There we go.
It'll break now and
Crush. Also Rapido and CZY with the combination. Ken's gonna try and protect himself from the cover of the BKB. But Crush will do the same with the Ghost Scepter. No unknown. A double waveform. Ken is out of Magic Immunity and is out of life. His game is done and dusted. As we go to a game 3. Summit. Beautifully done. They hit back in this game 2 and they're gonna end it with an ultra kill on unknown beyond godlike.
what is it with today and these TBs just sitting back and being a little bit too passive when they're the only